Hello, my name is Mallory Charchet, and this month's Step Career video focuses on employees who have started an entry-level position in their company and worked their way up within the business. All of these individuals have put in many hours of hard work to get where they are today.
My current occupation is Directors of Operations for the machining and weld fab divisions.
I am the production manager at Sabre FWT here in Hicksville.
I am the HR recruiter trainer for APT, which means I am in charge of all of the advertising and the interviewing and hiring, and then I'm also in charge of all of our internal training, including our apprenticeship programs and our training center students.
Right now I am president of the Wholesale House Incorporated here in Hicksville.
Sure. I was very interested in business and office, and I went to Vantage Career Center to take all that. When I got out, while I was working there at my co-op job, I discovered graphic arts. I got to hang out with the graphic artist in the print shop that I worked at, and thought that was kind of cool. So I started helping her out a lot more, and kind of moved into that. I did graphic arts for several years. I then moved back to the area, and there weren't any graphic arts positions open here, so I took a part-time receptionist job just to get back in there and get my foot in the door. I also helped out the HR director in that plant, and within 2 years he was moving on to pursue politics, and I had learned enough to be able to step into his role. I did a lot of behind the scenes learning, newsletters and webinars and all kinds of stuff to make sure I knew what I was doing, but that lasted for a while. Downsizing happened during the recession, and I had to kind of start back in the assistant program because I didn't have a degree. So I kind of worked my way back up now, and a few months ago I was given the opportunity to become the focused, specialized version of my HR positions and got to focus on the training and the recruiting.
Yeah, I started in my senior year. I went to Vantage and went into auto mechanics. I wanted to know how combustion engines worked and so on and so forth. I was introduced to welding, a little bit of sheet metal and stuff. I worked 3 different places up until about my age of 45, and then I found my niche, got into a little bit of management along the way. It's been a neat journey. I didn't take any college classes or anything like that. At the very beginning, I was a gearhead, and I wanted to know more about engines, like I'd said at the beginning there. And I kept an open mind on what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. Honestly, back then I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I went ahead and just kept following my dreams, I got curious is what it was. And so I went to a place where I actually became, after being a laborer, I got into management. I was offered a job in the management in a company that had a union, so that was tough. I was only 24 years old when I took that job. So when you're in management, then it's a whole new ball game. So I get into numbers, I get into reports, I got into Excel spreadsheets and so on and so forth. So that intrigued me, and that's what just kept me going and going on opportunities. I went back after that job. I went back to being a laborer. I became a welder, certified welder, and then I turned around and had an opportunity to program robots. So I went and took some classes on the robots, not college classes, they were just how to and how they work. And then I went out in the field a little bit, started programming robots. Liked it, but I didn't like being on the road all the time. So come back into the factory work, and hired in over here at APT about 18 years ago, and became a CNC machinist. After about 4 or 5 years, I was offered the opportunity to be the director of operations, and it's just been smooth sailing from there. It's not smooth, it's not easy, but I learned a lot. I kept my mind open on what I wanted to do, and this is how I.
I started out my career straight out of high school working in a factory. Went through a couple plant closings of different things that kind of went away with the times. I started out building TVs that were made out of tubes, so we've made some updates since the 90s. When Sabre came to Hicksville, I seen that as a great opportunity to a job that was going to be around for a long time. So I took that position. I started out there as a fabricator. I did that for roughly a year. Then I was offered a lead position. I did that for about three to 6 months, and they offered me a supervisor position. I enjoyed working with everybody and training people, so I thought, this is a great opportunity. I did that for roughly a year, and then they gave me a production manager position. And I've been doing that for roughly 3.5 years.
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I'll keep it short. I started working at the wholesale house right out of high school, and I started there at an entry-level position in the warehouse. I worked my way from the warehouse into the returns department, where I managed that department. Went into the shipping department a little bit, into the sales department, and just kind of continued to work my way up until I became president of the company.
I did go to college for a year. It wasn't really what I wanted to do at that time, and I've kind of regretted not finishing ever since. So instead of going back to college, I decided to pursue a certification in human resources. And about a year ago, I started studying every spare second and passed a very difficult exam. So now I am a PHR, which is a professional in human resources.
I did not take any educational classes at any colleges after high school. With work, I did attend motivational speaking classes, and I also attended a lot of sales trainings.
I did. When I was 27 years old, I actually went back to college and took some industrial technology courses.
I'm a bit of a paperwork nerd, so I kind of like technical stuff like forms and other paperwork. I also have kind of a natural desire to socialize and help people, so those are pretty important skills in human resources, and it's kind of helped me along.
Watching the others around me succeed. Being that I took to the job, I really liked it. I learned as much as I could about it, and I was able to teach the people that worked for me in the same learning manner that I did. So seeing their success makes me feel successful.
The one thing I feel that helped me find the most success is working hard and going to work every day, acting like the business was mine. I mean, I really wanted to learn every job and learn it to the best of my ability, to do it to the best of my ability. And the fact that working my way up and doing almost every job at the wholesale house, it allowed me to become really good at it, and then became president.
I would definitely say find what makes you happy. What kind of natural skills do you have? What are you happy doing? And see what vocations are out there that use those skills. And when you do figure that out, I would definitely recommend internships and job shadow to make sure that's what you want to do. There are many people I've seen, especially through our training programs, that think they want to do one thing, and as they kind of look at other stuff, they find that they like that a little more. So definitely do all the research, and you also get a lot of inside information from internships and job shadows.
What I've told my kids, and it kind of goes along with the career I chose, is I found something I loved to do. And if you find something that you love to do, you will do it better. You will enjoy your job, and you will obviously become the best you can be at it. When I started my job, even though it was entry-level position, it was the product that we were selling was all product I was very interested in, that I liked. And I think that's about it.
You need to be open to different jobs. You need to get out there, you need to do research, you need to find jobs that you're interested in, talk to people that do those jobs. See if it's something that you're interested in before you jump into it.
I would have to say the one thing would be to, whatever you do, give it your all, whether you're entry level, mid-level, or even the president, just make sure you give it 100%.
Find a job that you enjoy going to every day. You don't want to have a job that you just don't like. You want to be happy at the end of the day, enjoying what you do. And some things you're making a difference for everybody. So really enjoying what you do is the main course that I would look at.
Do the best you can do, keep a positive attitude. If college isn't for you, there are a lot of job opportunities out there. I would still encourage everybody to go to school and get a degree. If you're undecided coming out of high school, get a job and do your prereq classes, that kind of those kind of classes, and if you determine then it isn't for you, stick with the workforce. If you go into a job with a negative attitude, you will get negative results. Go in with a positive attitude, stay positive, work hard, treat other people the way you want to be treated, and good things will happen.
Our next step video will focus on individuals who have earned degrees or licensure through a career, tech, or other program. We look forward to sharing their career pathways with you. Please take time to fill out the Google form that Mrs. Chamberlain sent to you this morning.